We're talking about purpose. We're talking about the importance of planning it and some of the questions we need to ask to define it. But what about the thought that you just got to be lucky? What are your views on coincidence and chance in life? You've heard me many times, Bob, use Louis Pasteur's quote, chance favors a prepared mind. I do not personally believe in coincidence. I don't believe in luck. When I met Jack Nicklaus, I'll never forget a statement he said to me. Heath, you get lucky when you play golf, but it's directly proportionate to how hard you work. The luckier I got was a result of how hard I worked. So having a plan, committing it to God, establishing it, committing to myself and moving forward, is it just luck that it works out? Or do we actually have a choice to predict our future by creating it through defining our purpose and our plan? What do you gentlemen think?
Well, to use your golfing metaphor, I think it's Gary Player that said, the harder I practice, the luckier I get.
Well done.
Yeah.
You nailed that one, my friend.
So I think we consistently work at it. We're consistently focusing on it, and then things spin our way, and people go like, "Wow, that was rather lucky," But there's much more to, it's Psalm 23 says, "Surely goodness and mercy will follow me." I believe that goodness and mercy, if you're tracking with God, start following you. And so when you stop and mercy and goodness bump into you, wasn't that lucky? I'm walking a life where I'm believing that God has also purpose in my life, and that mercy and goodness are following me. They're right with me, and I sometimes I pray, I need to be overtaken. I don't want you just following me. I need. So there's times of desperation. Don't get me wrong, but as we are at it and working it, it's amazing how circumstances now start being drawn toward you and changing.
Yes.
Heath, there's no doubt that there is luck in the world. Sometimes you narrowly are missed by a car, right? On a bike or something like that. Maybe you win the lottery or something like that. So luck is reality in life, but I totally agree with both of you. It's about being prepared. It's about your experiences coming to bear and then you taking action. I'll just give you a quick story about that. My very first job, this is going to age me a bit, but I think most people are getting paid about $2.50 an hour. But there was a job at a grocery store that was paying actually $10.50 an hour. Huge money back then compared to any other jobs that were in the town that I was living in. And so I decided to wanted to apply for a job. So I walked down to the store and I asked where the office was, and they pointed out to me. I'm 15 and a half years old. I'm terrified. And so I walk up to the door and I'm going to knock on this closed door of the office, but I don't. I just don't have the courage to do it, right? So I walk around the store, and all those thoughts go through your head about you're not good enough, you never had this job before, the people on the other side of the door are horrible, blah, 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 whatever's going through your head, right? Even more terror, but something's inside me that makes me go up to the door again. And that was an accumulation of all the hockey games I played, all the baseball games I played, my upbringing with my family, what I believed in, my values, my ethics, and probably most importantly, my work ethic. I had a tremendous work ethic, probably given to me by my dad, who was a hard rock miner, right? and my mom as well, probably. My parents instilled that in me. So, Heath, I could not knock on that door. And so I knocked on the door, and the guy throws open the door, and the meanest guy you've ever seen rifles his head out at me. He goes, "What do you want?" And I say, I like an application, sir. I'd like to have a job here. He goes, "You know how many applications I get a day? I got a stack this high. And you know where I'm going to put your application? Right on the bottom." And he stares at me, and he doesn't say anything. And I say, "Can I have an application, sir?" And he goes, "Arr." He growled. He literally growled. And he fumbles around in the office room, and he takes the application. He shoves it through the door into my hand, and he slams the door. And so I'm shaking. I go home, fill out the application. The next day I have to go back to knock on the door and hand in the application again. So I do it, right? And 2 days later, I get a call. "Would you like to come in for work?" And that job put me through university. Was that luck? Was that luck?
Well, Bob, you
That's
know,
not luck.
no. And you know what? I like a better word than luck. Favor. I think that when you do the right things, you get blessed. There's rewards and there's consequences to every action that we do. And a negative action will get you a negative reward, which we usually call a consequence. A positive one gets us a reward or a consequence. And sometimes you do a good thing, you don't necessarily get what you think is the appropriate response or reward for it. But the fact is, all things are working out for our good. All of us have been through challenges, have been nicked and gone through, life. But what I can honestly say is that as we're really talking about this, it comes back to that purpose, that vision of where you want to go and knowing why you want it, that's going to help you get through the challenges that come our way. And that's the reason for planning, because chance does favor a prepared mind. You knew the outcome you wanted. Despite your fear, you had courage, because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is doing the right thing in spite of our fear. You knocked on the door. You took the tongue lashing. You submitted the application. You got the job because you persevered.